Hello everyone, welcome to the Hindu Current Affairs for Beginners. Before starting our today's session, first let us see answers for the questions from our Saturday's video. The first question is, consider the following statements. Brexit will make the United Kingdom to forego all the benefits of it being the member of European Union. We know that European Union is a group of 28 countries. Now, Britain is planning to exit from this group. That means it will have to forego all the benefits. It has to lose all the benefits that it has enjoyed till now being the member of European Union. So the statement 1 is correct. Backstop agreement strengthens the customs relationship between the Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. First of all, what is meant by this backstop agreement? This country, Republic of Ireland, is an independent country, but that is also an European Union member, whereas the Northern Ireland is an autonomous territory, but it is within the United Kingdom. So now the UK and Ireland, they are part of this European Union, which is a single market as well as a customs union. So till they being part of this European Union, the products that both these countries exchange or trade within these borders, they need not be inspected for customs and standards. There is no need of inspection of the products regarding their standards. But post Brexit, the two parts of Ireland will be in different customs and regulatory regimes. As now, till now they are being under European Union, they followed a single regime, single rules for customs and regulations. But now once UK comes out of this European Union, the rules might change. That means the products at the border has to be checked. So the UK government doesn't want this thing to happen, and the European Union also doesn't want this problem at the border. So this backstop is an arrangement in order to maintain an open border on the island of Ireland. This arrangement will allow the free flow of goods between the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. So the second statement is, backstop agreement will strengthen the customs relation between Northern Ireland and Republic Ireland. Yes, this is to allow the free flow of goods between both the countries. So the second statement is also correct. As both the statements here are correct, the answer here is C, both 1 and 2. The next question is, Belt and Road Initiative covers which continents? See, let us get into the answer directly. The answer here is B, 2, 3 and 4. Because in our today's video, we are going to see about this Belt and Road Initiative and why Europe has become part of this Belt and Road Initiative. Because recently Italy has signed an agreement. So even Europe is covered under this Belt and Road Initiative. We have already known that Africa and Asia were part of this, but not North America. So the answer here is 2, 3 and 4. We will see in detail about this Belt and Road Initiative in our today's video, and we will also see about this Italy planning to be part of this Belt and Road Initiative. Now let's start our today's session, and these are all the topics that we are going to cover in our today's video. And these topics cover the topics from Hindu on both Sundays as well as Monday's paper, that is on 24th as well as 25th of March newspaper. As core video will not be available on Sundays, we don't want our students to miss any important topics that appear on Sunday. So from now onwards, we are going to cover even the topics that are important from UPSC point of view on Monday's core video. And dear students, a small announcement, please let us know in the comment box if you wanted any new topics that are being in news continuously, so that we will make a special video on that particular topic, or else before starting the core video, we will allot some time in order to explain those topics. Now let's start our today's session. Our first article is Protected Areas Matter to Bumphead Parrotfish. This article comes under GS Paper 3 under the topic of environment, and the subtopic here is conservation. The context of this article is overfishing and the coral reef degradation have become threats to this parrotfish in Andaman Nicobar Islands. This bumphead parrotfish is the world's largest parrotfish, and it promotes the coral growth and keeps the coral reef ecosystem in a healthy manner. This is why this bumphead parrotfish is considered as an important component of this coral reef ecosystem, but it is highly endangered across the world. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is IUCN, this bumphead parrotfish is categorized as vulnerable in the red list of IUCN. As we are saying that this parrotfish is being threatened due to overfishing and coral reef degradation, what needs to be done? This article is suggesting some measures to implement the regulations regarding reef fishing. Because of these fishing regulations, its population might bounce back. So it is saying that it is good to ban night fishing for these species and to implement the fishing regulations. Our next article is the long reach of new silk roads. This article comes under GS Paper 2 under the topic of international relations. Now let us see about this Silk Road. What is this concept of this Belt and Road Initiative? This Belt and Road Initiative is the China's most ambitious foreign policy, and it is an economic initiative of China. This was introduced by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013, and he called for building two things under this One Belt One Road initiative. This is known as Belt and Road Initiative, and he divided this into two concepts. One is Silk Road Economic Belt and the other thing is Maritime Silk Road. So the two together is known as One Belt One Road Initiative of China. So now let us see both of them in detail. What is this One Belt One Road concept? This One Belt One Road, as I said before, is China's foreign as well as economic policy. So it is a development strategy of China to connect with Central Asia, Europe and Indo-Pacific, the countries that were bordering the Indian Ocean as well as Pacific Ocean. If we see what is this One Belt, this One Belt refers to this Silk Road Economic Belt. Here the capital of China, Beijing, it wants to connect the countries underdeveloped land to Europe through Central Asia. And what about this one road? This one road refers to ocean going Maritime Silk Road. This will connect the fast growing Southeast Asian region to China's southern provinces through ports and railways. So it is clear now, this One Belt refers to the road, land-based Silk Road Economic Belt, whereas One Road refers to Maritime Silk Road. The plan here is to connect the Pacific Ocean as well as the Indian Ocean. This will connect the Chinese coastline with Southeast Asia and South Asia, Gulf, East Coast of Africa. So we can say that this One Belt One Road initiative is covering the countries throughout Asia from China to rest of Eurasia. The next article is Italy signs new Silk Road protocol with China. This article also comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of international relations. This article is about Italy on 23rd of March has signed a non-binding protocol with China to take part in this new Silk Road. It is not in the entire One Belt One Road or initiative, but it wants to take part in this Silk Road project, which is a land-based route that will connect the underdeveloped China to Europe. And now by doing this, Italy has become the first among the G7 countries to sign up for this massive project. The next article is Ooty's muon detection facility measures potential of thundercloud. This article comes under GS paper 3 under the topic of awareness in the fields of technology. So from this article, now we are going to see about a concept known as what is this Graves muon telescope facility. The context of this article is for the first time in the world, the researchers at this Graves 3 muon telescope facility that is located in Ooty, they have measured the electrical potential. What is the electrical potential, size and height of a thundercloud that passed overhead on December 1 of 2014. From the prelims point of view, what is important for us is this Graves 3 muon telescope facility. First of all, what are these muons? These muons will produce when the cosmic rays bombard with the air particles surrounding the earth. Then when these cosmic rays bombard with the air particles surrounding the earth, then these muons will be produced, and these muons can have either a positive energy or a negative charge. So this Graves 3 telescope is designed to study these cosmic rays. This is designed to study the cosmic rays and to investigate the acceleration of these cosmic rays. The next article is Center must not look upon the Reserve Bank as a cash cow. This article comes under GS paper 3 under the topic of economy. Here, a former member of Reserve Bank of India's Central Board, Indira Rajaraman, has cautioned the center for being fully dependent fiscally on the Reserve Bank of India. She says that whatever the central bank does is a foundation for the nation, so that the Reserve Bank of India should have freedom to choose where it should spend, even including whom it should employ. It should have a choice over where it has to spend, what are the areas it needs to spend, and also while employing the staff. She says they need good training, remuneration, pension and housing. If the government is putting a restraint on all these, it is the people of India who will have to suffer, because whatever RBI is doing is a foundation for the people, because it is the Reserve Bank of India which formulates this monetary policy by keeping in mind the fiscal policy of the government. So this Reserve Bank of India should be free from the criticism of government's fiscal policy, is what the former Central Board member of Reserve Bank of India says. The next article is Indian Pharma's cold reply to China's call. This article comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of issues related to health. There is nothing much important from the prelims point of view from this article, but if we see the summary of this article, recently a Chinese province known as Yunnan, they have asked the Indian pharma companies to supply medicines in their Yunnan province. Though it is the last day, that is the 22nd March is the last day for the companies to respond to this call, none of our Indian companies has responded by citing that inefficient regulatory process in China is the reason for companies not responding to this call of China's Yunnan province asking the companies to come and supply their medicines. Some of the reasons that were cited by our companies are it is lack of information as well as regulatory process, because it takes time. It is a time taking process for a product to be registered, and also it takes nearly 3 to 5 years for getting our product registered from China's National Medical Products Administration. And even that is very expensive. So citing all these reasons, our Indian companies didn't show interest for responding to their offer. The next article is Pulwama, India to seek US virtual SIM details. This article comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of international relations. Here, the Jaish-e-Mohammed suicide bomber who was behind the Pulwama attack and his Pakistan and Kashmir based handlers, they used this virtual SIMs for communication. So what is important for us is we should know what is this virtual SIM. It is a new method of operations where the terrorists across the border were using this virtual SIM, which is generated by a service provider in US. In this technology, a computer will generate a telephone number and the user will download an application of the service provider on their smartphone, and this number is linked to the social networking sites like WhatsApp, Facebook, Telegram or Twitter. The verification code that is generated by these networking sites will be received on the smartphone and the user is ready to use this. This is what is the mechanism of this virtual SIM. I'll repeat it again. In this technology, a computer will generate a telephone number. So the user will download an application of the service provider in their smartphone. This number will be linked to the social networking sites like WhatsApp, Facebook, all these. And the verification code that is generated by the networking sites will be received on this smartphone, which will allow the user to use it. The next article is voting a privilege for these Chenchus. This article comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of polity, and the subtopic here is elections, and it also comes under GS paper 1 under the topic of Indian society, and the subtopic here is culture, because here there is mention of a tribe known as Chenchus. Who are these Chenchus? These Chenchus are the Adivasi people, a designated scheduled tribe in the Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Odisha. They are part of this particularly vulnerable tribal group. They are an aboriginal tribe who has their own traditional way of life. They have their own culture, and that culture is based on hunting and gathering. These Chenchus, they speak Chenchu language, which is a member of Dravidian language family. Some Chenchus, they have been specialized in collecting the forest produce for selling it to the non-tribal people. And many Chenchus, they still live in the dense Nallamala forest of Andhra Pradesh. And they are also known as Chenchu Reddys in Rayalaseema because they use this Reddy title. Whereas these Chenchus are referred to as one of the primitive tribal groups because they are still dependent on forests and they do not cultivate the land, but they hunt for living. That is why they are known as primitive tribal groups. Then what about the land that they are being in? It is being used by the non-tribal people. They will rent the land from Chenchus and they will pay a portion of their harvest to these Chenchus. This is how they survive. Now, another concept that is mentioned in this article which we should know is systematic voter education and electoral participation awareness. What is this concept known as sweep? This systematic voters education and electoral participation program of Election Commission of India. This is a program by the Election Commission of India. What for? In order to inform, educate, motivate and facilitate the voters and in turn make the Indian democracy more participative by doing all this about the election process and regarding this voting, because the voters' participation is a bedrock for a participative democracy. In this program, every aspect of this election process will be simulated in order to ensure increased participation of voters in the polling. The main aim is to increase the voting rate. The impact of this program has been seen in the past few elections. The voter registration has increased and even there is high voter turnout with greater participation from youth and women. So now here they have brought this project even to the tribal areas in order to educate them regarding this election process and about this voting concept. The next article is Rushikulya waits for Olive Ridleys. This article comes under GS paper 3 under the topic of environment. Before getting into this article, first let us know about this Olive Ridley turtles. These turtles got its name from olive colored upper shell. It has a hard upper shell and it is olive colored, and that shell is heart shaped and rounded. These sea turtles, Olive Ridley sea turtles, they come in large numbers for nesting to the Odisha coast. This mass nesting, as I said that they will come in large numbers for nesting to the Odisha coast, and this mass nesting has drawn a worldwide attention on the conservation of these Olive Ridley turtles in Odisha. And from here we can know another concept known as this mass nesting. Nesting of these turtles in huge numbers is known as arribadas. This concept is known as arribadas, mass nesting of turtles. And these turtles are carnivorous in nature. They feed on jellyfish, snails, crabs and shrimps. And here you can see the major breeding grounds for these turtles are Rushikulya, Gahirmata Beach, Devi Estuary, Hope Island of Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary, that is in Andhra Pradesh, and Dharma and Astaranga Coast. All these belongs to Odisha except this Hope Island of Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. All these are the major breeding grounds for these turtles. So now if we get into the details of this article, it is about the Rushikulya river, which is the famous ground for mass nesting of these endangered Olive Ridley turtles. It is about this year there are a few occurrences of this nesting. There is no mass nesting in this Rushikulya and Devi river mouth. The article cites that it is the climatic parameters and the beach conditions that decide the mass nesting at a coast. The next article is Protect Ocean Ecosystem, Tap Blue Economy, says Venkaiah Naidu, our Vice President. This article comes under GS Paper 3 under the topic of environment. From this article, now let us see what is meant by this concept known as blue economy. What is this blue economy? It is a marine-based sustainable economic development that will lead to improved human well-being and social equity by reducing the environmental risks and ecological scarcities. Because I have said it is a marine-based sustainable economic development. And one more thing we should remember here is it will not only address the issues like scarcity of resources and regarding this waste disposal mechanisms, but this blue economy also aims for overall and sustainable development by improving the human welfare, by focusing on this human welfare. So it is a broad concept which is not only confined to these marine products or minerals, but it will also include the maritime activities like shipping. This entire concept of blue economy, it looks into oceans. It will look the oceans as a venue or a space for development where the activities like conservation, sustainable energy production, mineral wealth extraction, bioprospecting, marine transport, all these were integrated. So, to put it simply, this blue economy, the elements of this blue economy is to optimum and efficient utilization of the resources in a sustainable, inclusive, harmonious and environmental friendly manner for sustainable development without exploiting the opportunities in the emerging marine industries, and to create the legal and regulatory institutions to govern the access, usage and protection of the maritime resources. This is not only focusing on the development, but it is also focusing on the regulations on the emerging marine industries in order to prevent them from exploiting the opportunities. The next article is Parallel Tracks on Trade Ties. This article comes under GS Paper 3 under the topic of economy. From this article, now let us see about a concept which we have been seeing since so many days, but now let us brief it again. What is this Generalized System of Preferences Program? Under this Generalized System of Preferences Program, here there are two types of countries. One are known as developed countries or donor countries. The another set of countries are known as developing countries or benefit receiving countries. These are the receiving countries. From where they are receiving these benefits? It is from the donor countries. In what form they are receiving the benefits? Here, the developed countries are opening their economies for these developing countries to export their products into their countries, into the developed countries' markets without any tariffs or zero tax, so that it will benefit these developing countries to explore the markets of developed countries and to increase the competition and also to make their products globally competitive. So the name of this concept is Generalized System of Preferences. So the developed countries, they will offer these kind of benefits to the developing countries. In the same way, the United States of America has also passed on the benefits under this generalized system of preferences to India. But recently, it has withdrawn all the benefits that it has provided under this GSP to India. Now try to answer a practice question with regard to bumperhead parrotfish, which is an important component of coral reef ecosystem. Consider the following statements. Try to answer this question, and in our tomorrow's video we'll see the answer for this question. Thank you.